And a lot of times people go in like, well, I'm just going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going all in. And then they fall in, right? And now they want to throw it away. They want to give up, and they want to say entrepreneurship don't work.
Just totally giving that up was kind of scary to me. I was not afraid to start a practice, but I was afraid to go full.
I tell people entrepreneurship is hard. Hey, how are you? I want to welcome you to the Content Aesthetic Show, where we have different med spa owners, different aesthetic professionals come on and share their story so they can inspire you to keep thriving and making a difference in your community. And on today's episode, we have Kimberly Brice. How are you, Kimberly?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
I'm blessed. I cannot complain. Even if I did, nobody would be listening. All right. So, Kimberly, tell us how you make a difference in your community with your business.
Yes. So pretty much in my practice, I want my clients to feel that they have a place to come to and relax. They can shut out the outside world. I'm all about inspiring and just building confidence in my place of business.
Where did that come from? Why did you say this is my mission?
This is my mission because I would say that I grew up as a child with low self-esteem. For most of my high school years, it was just pretty much tough. I didn't really feel that I was beautiful or pretty. I didn't have that confidence. And so just throughout life, it took some time to just build myself up and just to, get myself where I feel like I am beautiful, and I wanted other people to know that they are beautiful as well.
I love that. That's big, and I want to commend you on that. Where do you feel like it thrive and strive from? Like, where did that come from that you didn't feel that confidence in yourself at a young age?
It was just mainly, I never got called ugly or anything like that, but mainly I was just super skinny. I was just really slim, and at the time, growing up, in Memphis, Tennessee, Mississippi, those areas, they're used to women being thicker, along the lines of being more plump. And I was just skinny, so it was just mainly, that's where it came from. It's just being...
So you was like more in your own head?
Yeah, I was in my own head.
I think a lot of times we pull stuff down onto ourselves. Like we control the narrative. Sometimes we're like, oh man, people talking about me or people looking at me funny, when all along they ain't even paying you no mind. And sometimes we can put those negative thoughts and negative energy on ourselves. So what did you do to realize that you were beautiful and you did have confidence? Like, what was that transition like? Because there's other people in the aesthetic world that have that same upbringing.
Yeah, pretty much a true story. My sister, and she's deceased, but my sister, I had a sister that was beautiful to me. Like, she was the most beautiful person I had ever seen. She always would tell me that I was beautiful and I looked like her. And I would be like, I don't look like you. There's no way. I had a lady to stop me in a store, and she said, you look like my classmate. And I said, your classmate? I'm like, well, who could that be? How can I look like your classmate? And I said, well, just tell me her name. She said, well, she's no longer with us. And I said, oh my gosh, my heart started beating up. Like, tell me her name. She said my sister's name. And from that day forward, I never looked back about feeling bad about myself.
So you finally believed your sister?
After the fact. Yeah, she was already gone from the earth. But that was kind of like a message. You remember I was telling you these things? Now you need to listen.
I think the blessing is that you was open to listen in that moment, and it made a transition in your life,
It did.
Because you can still be going through that to this day if that moment didn't happen, if you would have left the house 5 minutes later.
Yeah, most definitely. So, yeah, and I think about that too as well because, just circumstances, I was able to bump into that lady in that store, and that was kind of like my message as to you need to feel beautiful about yourself, and you need to help inspire others to feel the same way.
Let me ask you something. Did you keep a relationship with that lady or no?
I did not. That was the only time I ever saw her. It was almost like she's an angel because I didn't. Didn't even get her information, but she was definitely a classmate of my sister, so she wouldn't be hard to find.
Oh yeah, facts. So for you, what made you like, let me start a business and help other people?
Another story.
Yes.
I was working a 9 to 5. I had been doing this for about, I would say, 15 years. And I was searching for my purpose, praying, asking God, what is my purpose? Like, I need to find something else outside of what I'm doing because I feel like I'm wasting my time and I'm not serving you. So I was taking the train back and forth to work, and one day I was on the train, and there was something that was like, look up. And I'm like, look up at what? Because there are just all kind of things on the train. So I'm like, should I look up at this? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look up. So literally when I looked up, there was a sign for the school that I enrolled in for aesthetics. But my thing was, I was like, well, if it's meant for me to go here, it's gonna work around my schedule. And it did. So that's where I got started in aesthetics.
And what was it? What kind of was that corporation? What kind of business was that you was in for 15 years?
It was a corporation. I was in the medical field, medical administration
So
field.
you always been
Yes.
in the world.
Yes, I've always been in medical. A lot of just behind the scenes,
Yeah.
the administrative part of medical. So I've always had that, exposure.
Yes. So when you went to the school, what gave you that confidence? Like, okay, I could get into aesthetics now. This is totally different. After 15 years over here, it's like that's a change. It's kind of might be traumatic a little bit.
It is, because in this case, whereas I'm behind the scenes, so I'm not really patient focused.
Yeah.
But in this area, I'm hands-on
Yeah.
with the patients or the clients at this point. What drove me to keep going while I was in school was that I did this very well. I thought everything that I was doing before for 15 years that I was good at that. This I did exceptionally well. I was constantly being recognized by my teachers. Just everything that I did, it came to me so effortless. So my grades were amazing.
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm on the right path.
So once you transition out of school, how was that balance of like, okay, now I got to start my business? And what was that moment like when you had to leave the corporate to start your own business? Like, what was that day like?
Well, I didn't initially go straight into it because I was kind of like scared. And honestly, I was afraid to even take my state board, mainly the practical portion of it, because I knew the knowledge. It was just the practical part of it that was kind of like scary for me, because during practical, you have to have people watch you do all these different things that you've learned in school.
Yeah.
So I initially took about 6 months before I even took my practical exam. Once I did that, I went into, I had a job, and it wasn't a great experience as an esthetician. I went into a position that was, it was at a school that was going to assist me with getting my license as an instructor while I worked for this company.
Yeah.
So while I was there, it was just not a good experience. Wasn't a lot of preparation there, and I felt like it was kind of like a failure on my part.
But did you learn some stuff there?
I learned a lot of business things about far as how I would run my business better.
So that's
And
a
what
win.
not to do. It was a win. I mean, I did learn and grow from it, but it was still kind of like something that was kind of detrimental to me, because I had this whole, really good experience in school, and that was like the first.
But I'm happy you had that instantly as your first, because what about if you would have got out and everything was peaches and cream, and then you got hit with some stuff you didn't like, right? So it's like, all right, my first experience wasn't the best, but it taught me what I would have to go through in the worst, right?
It did. It pretty much taught me a lot about aesthetics in the first go round. So I'm so glad that was mainly the worst experience I had, because everything, like you said, after that was pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah. So now when you started your business itself, and did you start in like an apartment? Did you start in a suite? Did you start in a commercial lease? Like, what was that like?
Well, I didn't officially start a business yet.
Yeah.
I went back to school again because with aesthetics, I felt like, okay, this is great, but I wanted to add more to what I could do. So I ended up going back to school for massage therapy.
Okay.
Before I started my practice.
Okay.
My practice, I started in a suite. because I felt like I was confident enough to just go out. It takes a lot of confidence and money. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So don't, get that part twisted, but you do have to have your funds in order too before you start to do it. So I went into developing my own practice, but I continued to work other jobs too while I had my own spa space.
What was that mental like for you to be like, let me balance jobs and my business? Like, why did you feel like the need to do that?
I felt the need to do it because I had been working in corporate for so long. So just totally giving that up was kind of scary to me. I was not afraid to start a practice, but I was afraid to go full. So I was kind of like 50 in the door and 50 out the door. So I was still kind of like, well, let me gain some experience and then have my clients over here on the side. And it worked for me to be able to balance both. It's a lot of work, a lot of hours. But because I'm the type of person that is like driven, it kind of worked for me.
And the reason why I think it's a great thing when people first get into business, I think you should keep some type of stability until the business can be the stability. And a lot of times people go in like, well, I'm just going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going all in. And then they fall in, right?
Yes.
And now they want to throw it away. They want to give up and they want to say entrepreneurship don't work. No, you did it wrong.
Yeah.
Right? For me, I left my 9 to 5 in 2010.
Okay.
I've been shooting content for 14 years now.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh. When I tell you I understand entrepreneurship up and down, in and out. Because when I was getting started, we didn't have the YouTubes and all of that to help us like we do these days. And I tell people entrepreneurship is hard.
It is.
It is going to make you strong. It's going to make you a soldier, a warrior, all of the above, a leader.
Yes.
But you got to love what it is that you do.
You have to.
Or it ain't going to work.
It's not going to work.
If you in it for the money.
Yes. It's not about the money. And I never, and sometimes I hear people say like you sell yourself short. The main prayer that I pray is that I make enough money to sustain my daily living and to be able to do the things that I love to do. I don't have rich goals because I feel that if I set those rich goals and I don't make them, I'm going to feel like I'm a failure. So I only ask for a small amount, but God seems to bless me with abundance, with more. And that's kind of like how it works for me,
I love that. And so in your practice, what do you specialize in?
I really specialize in massage. I get a lot of massage therapy clients as well as post-op cosmetic surgery clients too as well.
Okay. And so tell me, like, what's that process like for you bringing in new people to the practice? Like, what do you do?
I believe in face-to-face interaction. I'm not really big on social media. I want to learn and grow in that area too as well. But I'm a hands-on a lot of people stop me and ask me, what do you do? Like they're inquisitive about what it is that I do for a living. That gives me an opportunity to promote my business. Not only tell them that I'm a board certified massage therapist and a licensed esthetician, but it also opens up the opportunity to say, I have a practice, and they're like, what area? And I tell them the area downtown Decatur, Georgia, and they're like, oh, that's right around the corner from me. That's a great location. Or, so it gives me the opportunity to put that out there.
Yeah. So you don't do no type of other marketing. You do basically face-to-face, one-on-one.
I'm a one-on-one person. Like I know it's so it's not hard. I'm not gonna say it's hard. It's time consuming because it takes time out your day. But I encounter a lot of people throughout the day. So it gives me the opportunity to meet them. I feel like when people are able to meet me and see my personality, then it kind of like sells itself.
So on average, how many people you probably get introduced to a day?
Oh, I would say depending on like if I'm out and about, I would say I encounter about 50 people a day.
Out of the 50 people, how many of them actually come in and get a service?
I would say about 15 to 20.
Oh, wow. That's not a bad percentage.
No, and I'm wanting it to be more.
That's about 30-some%. That's not bad.
And that's unintentional meeting people, like just going out day to day whether I'm going to get my car washed, I'm going to run errands, I'm at, the warehouse locations, doing my shopping. I encounter a lot of people. So every
Let
time
me
I
hear
see,
how you pitch it. Like, just say I'm I just gotta hear it, right? I'm just out. We out. Let's say I'm walking down the street.
yeah,
Hey, how are you?
yeah. I'm like, hi, how you doing? I say,
Now I
I'm
want you
doing.
to really,
Oh,
really.
okay. Here we go. Interact.
All right. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm blessed.
You blessed?
Yes.
Yeah. How's everything going in your life right now?
Oh, which element?
Just in any aspect.
Man, I can't complain. I'm here.
Yeah. How's your job going, career?
Yeah, it's moving up levels.
Is it?
Yes.
That's such a blessing. What do you do for a living, if you don't mind me asking?
I do content. And my content is the way of life for me.
Content?
Yeah, it's like video and stuff like
Oh,
that.
really? That is so great. So do you actually have to handle any heavy equipment or anything
Sometimes
like that?
carrying them lights and stuff, Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure a lot of working on a computer,
Yes.
editing and
Yes.
things like that, So those, can affect your body in different ways.
I never thought about it. I just be on the go.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a massage or any skincare services, or what do you do for self-care?
Work.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's all day, every day?
Yes.
Oh, man. So have you ever thought about doing any self-care and a massage or skincare?
I'm not opposed to it,
Yeah,
but I
really?
just ain't thought about it. You just think about shooting.
Okay. Well, I know I've been talking your ear off, but I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Kimberly Brice.
Yeah.
I'm a massage therapist and a licensed esthetician.
Yeah.
And I do have a location that's in downtown Decatur, Georgia.
Okay.
Have you ever been in that area
Yeah,
before?
I have.
It's a very nice area. A lot of shopping areas and things like that.
It's just been redeveloped.
Yeah, redevelop. And so I'm just out meeting people in the community and just passing out some business cards. Do you mind taking one of my business cards?
No problem.
And I would appreciate if you can't use my services or don't benefit from my services, maybe pass the word on
That was
to
good.
someone.
That was good. I love it that you made it about me and not about you, right? And I think when it comes to sales, most people talk too much about them and not about the other person. And so I can see why you convert. But if we was to be able to put fire on that with like ads and content and all of that, and you getting on the phone, you'll do really, really well because that you cared more than anything. And it's like you didn't even introduce what you did until the end. It was more about, hey, how you feeling? How this going? What's that's going? What can you? So that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, because I interact with a lot of people. And when I ask you, how are you doing today? Or how are you feeling? It comes from a genuine place.
Yeah.
And I hear people say, like even you say, I can't complain.
Yeah.
I feel like complaining is when you, depending on who you're talking to. To someone else, it can be complaining. To someone else, it can be, like I'm serious about, I would like to know how's your day. I mean that when I ask people that. And I changed a guy's way of thinking because of that. Because he was like, oh, I can't complain. I said, well, it depends on who you're talking to. And he was like, really? I said, yeah. I said, when I ask you that, I mean, I don't care if your puppy ran away today.
Yeah.
I would like to know, because I don't ask that just as a general question. It's
Yeah.
because I really want to know. So my clients, they know when I ask that question, I don't care what happened. I'm serious about wanting to know what your day was like.
I think that's really, really big. So right now, are you still in a suite, or did you move up? Like, or how is that? Like, tell me about that.
I'm still in a sweet space.
Okay.
I do have goals of wanting to possibly having a storefront to get out of that sweet space. Just because I've noticed that even being in a sweet space, even though you have your own business in your own space, I find that it can be a little too close to other people sometimes.
What that mean?
Meaning, okay, true story. I was cleaning once a week. I pull out all of my equipment to clean my space. So I pulled everything out into my little suite area to clean the space. So I was approached by someone that was like, we're going to miss you. And I didn't know she was talking to me. So I was like, maybe she's talking to someone else. And she was like, we're going to miss you. And I'm like, where are you going? You about to leave? She was like, you're moving out, right? And I'm like, no, I'm just doing a deep cleaning. And she was like, oh, we thought that you were about to move.
Mm.
I'm not going anywhere. So that's what I mean by eventually I would love to be able to have my own storefront.
I love it. And I look at it as like, as long as you put yourself in position, it's easy to happen. Right now, what are you, dang, you probably spending $0 on marketing every month, huh?
I just started working on some things to try to do some ads on Facebook and Instagram.
What that mean? Working on some things. Break that down for
Well,
me.
pretty much just creating the content that I'm going to
Okay.
put out there. I haven't, pressed the button on doing the actual ads, but I'm getting on the design website, just trying to create some
On
ads.
Canva? That what you mean when you said design website?
Hey, I'm new to this.
No, I'm just asking.
I mean, of course, you use Canva because that's the thing that pops up.
Yeah.
Like Adobe, and I have those things too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We have to talk to see if Canva is.
No, I love Canva.
Oh,
like,
really?
Canva is cool. Like, we're in a new day and age. I've been brainwashed for Adobe since 2003.
Okay.
All I know is Adobe, right? But I'm not stuck on that. Like Canva, CapCut. Oh my gosh, that stuff is quick.
Yeah.
Adobe got problems dealing with them folks. I'm telling you.
It's very user friendly.
Yeah. And I just ask, and the reason why is because there's other aesthetic professionals out there that might be thinking about using Canva or doing that. Like, yeah, no, whatever you got to do to get the message out, get the message out. But don't overthink it. And working on, like when you get on that Canva, get it done that same day. Get it out. It shouldn't take days and months and all of that. Get the message out so you can scale the business.
Right. And that's what I did. I took like a day and just did a bunch of different content things that I want to put out there. Because I also see that you have an opportunity to even schedule your content to go out. So I don't know how effective that is because I haven't tried it yet, but I do want to try that to see if that's effective too.
So how are you with video content, like showing yourself, educating people?
I feel like I would do very well with it. I have been recording myself on my camera, just educated, because I feel like I'm really good at that, the education part of things. So I have been shooting some video as far as that too. Now,
who's watching it? Is it the phone watching it or the people like?
I've been spending this week. It's been this week that I've decided to do it. So it's not like things I had archived in the past. It's like things that I've actually been working on this week.
Why do you feel like now is the moment for you to start putting out more content?
Because this time, like October, November, and sometimes December, tend to be the slower months for consumers because of the fact you have the holidays coming up. And then as well as, it's getting colder and things like that. So I feel like now I need to just start trying to get some things out, maybe do some things to appeal for the holidays too as well.
Okay. That makes sense. If you can put light on one of your superpowers, what would it be and why?
One of my superpowers, I would say, I have a few, but if I have to do a main one, I would say my ability to connect. I feel like my ability to connect to humans and people and everyone is just a God-given gift. I can't even really put it into words, but mostly the people that I do interact with, they tend to just love me right off the bat.
That's a blessing. I was also, as a aesthetic professional, what do you think right now your business is something that's really beating you up that you can actually work on better, work on?
I feel like I'm always striving to get better. Every day I try to do one thing that's going to make me a better person in every aspect of my life. So I'm always open to being better.
Which element you think right now it's like, oh, if I could get this piece right here?
I would say content creation.
Okay. And the reason why I say that is because it's so many different parts to a business that sometimes we neglect some of the things that actually be the engine to make the business move, and we pay attention to the stuff that isn't making the business move. And so biggest thing I notice in the aesthetic world is that it's 25% visibility, it's 25% sales, it's 25% client experience, and then it's 25% client retention, right? And one of the problems is going to fall in one of those categories, right? So in your case, content will fall in visibility, right? And if you get enough visibility, then the next problem is always going to be sales problems. That means you having too many people come in, you don't got enough manpower to close people, or it's like the phone is ringing crazy, you need help. And from there, it's like, all right, now you got the people, and now it's that experience that you give the people. And so if you're giving them a amazing experience when they come in and they're seeing results, then now it's retention. How do we bring them back? Right? How, like, do we need better employees, more employees, so we can make sure these clients come back and not be one time, right? And that's some big elements that we see go wrong. And it's like, we have the power to fix it if we focus on the problem.
That's true. Mainly with skincare, you'll have clients that come back with that because they want, progressive treatment. So they'll come back for that. Massage therapy clients, you give them a really good experience, they're coming back a couple of times a month. The only clients that are pretty much, after a while, you probably won't see them as much is the post-op surgery clients. After they get past that recovery period, then you may see them every now and then for maintenance. So as far as like that aspect is mainly the post-op surgery clients.
So when your skincare clients come in, are they suffering like acne and stuff like that?
I get some treatments for acne, but mostly everyone else is just coming in because they want that experience, that spa experience, almost like what you would get from hotels and things like that.
Okay. And that's how you promoted the messaging?
Pretty much I promote it more so because I enjoy doing more progressive treatments. I'm more of a results driven person, but every client is not about results driven. A lot of them just needed a facial because they haven't had one in a while.
I love that. If you can say something to a aesthetic professional that might be on the verge of giving up, I want you to look in this camera and I want you to say something to keep them going.
Yes. Hi, aesthetic professional. You only have one life to live, and I would not continue to waste my time doing anything other than what I'm passionate about. Don't give up. Do not give up. I know it gets tough, but you're stronger than you think. You just may need to change up some things, incorporate a new routine, but do not give up. If you're truly passionate about this field, you can do it. It's just other ways. You may need to seek help. You may even have to take another job like I did to fund your business, but do not give up at any cost. No matter how tough it gets, just continue to pray, keep your faith, and you will succeed.
I love that. That was big. And I believe that the aesthetic world is gonna be bigger than what everybody see in the next 10 years. And the reason why is because it is okay now to have self-care. It's okay now to take care of yourself. A lot of times people wanted to do it discreetly. And I think now it's like, no, we got to take care of ourselves.
Dude, it's a lot of benefits in skincare and massage. It's not a luxury service. It is definitely highly beneficial to the body. And that's my message when I encounter individuals is that don't think it's something that you should just do on your birthday or anniversary or Christmas gift or gift card. This is something that you should do routinely. Like you go to the doctor routinely and do checkups. That's exactly what it is with massage therapy and skincare.
Yes, I love it. Well, Kimberly, I want to thank you, and I want to let you know I'm proud of you for taking the courage to believe in yourself.
Yes.
I think that's the hardest thing for people to do. And you did it, and you're growing day by day. You could have stayed in corporate America and not chase your dream, not serve the people, or you could have not believed in yourself. But you did, and you're helping other people believe in themselves. You're doing your calling,
Yes.
And so I just want to let you know I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
One last thing. How is it for you being a mother and balancing entrepreneurship?
Ooh, that is interesting. Going to school twice and doing two programs that require clock hours was very, very tough because it requires you to be away from your children as well as working a 9 to 5 to keep the bills going. But my children was right there with me along for the journey. I kept an open line of communication. This is what mom is going to do, and this is how it's going to benefit us as a family. And they were there through both programs.
Yeah.
And balancing motherhood and working as a professional, now that my kids are older, is a lot easier now. It was just tougher when I was going to school. But because the structure that I put in place with my children, it was easy. It was an easy transition to do both. My children, they knew exactly what to do. They're very responsive and they listen. So I didn't have any issues besides the fact of just being away from them. And I'm so thankful to God because God watched and kept my children. They were a little older, but they were like teenagers, you know what I mean? But just, it was just effortless. And I think it was because it was driven by God. It was definitely driven by God.
How was you that moment when they seen you open your spa?
Ooh, it was very tearful. A lot of tears of joy just because my daughter, she's younger. She's 18 now, but at the time she was just like, Mommy, everything that you said that you wanted to do, you're doing it. And my son, just even coming from him, he's 22 now, but then he was just like, he said, I got skill points. He's like, you got an abundance of skill points. He said, pretty much anything that you wanted to do, you've shown us that you've done it, and you've inspired us to go after whatever we want to do. And that meant a lot coming from those two, you know, because they are new to the world. They're children, you know, and that showed me that I was an inspiration. And they say that you're your child's first, inspiration and everything, right? So that goes to show me that I've served them well as a mother, not only just as a mother, but as a point of reference. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you guys are learning from me. Yeah. And it goes to show that I'm being the best parent that I can be because they were inspired by me. I'm really looked at as their hero.
I love it.
So it was just so rewarding, such a rewarding thing, because those are the two that I really am more worried about impressing. And to know that I have done that was a great experience for me.
I love that. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Content Aesthetic Show. And I want you to remember that you are beautiful. You are amazing. You have all of the tools that you need to make an impact. Do not allow yourself to beat up yourself. Give yourself grace. Allow yourself the opportunity to make bruises, right? And when you are starting your business and you are building your business, it is okay to have some balance somewhere. If you have to go get some stability from a temporary source, do that so you can have your main thing get feeded with all of the energy that you need for it to go generational, right? And I want you to be proud of yourself first, all right? And I hope this episode helped you love you. I'm Dontel Antonio, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Content Aesthetic Show.